Start taking some nice deep breaths. And we'll start with our focus at the top of our body. So in your next inhale, bring your awareness to your neck and your shoulders. And then go ahead and bring one of your hands or both of your hands and just place it gently at the bottom of your neck. So at the top of like your collarbone. And on your next breath, just pay attention to how much air you're pulling in and how much movement there is in your neck and your collarbone and your upper chest as you take that breath and as you exhale. And when you've exhaled with that one, then we're going to move our hand down just a little bit. So it'll be just a little bit lower, like an inch lower than you have it now. And same thing, take another deep breath. And exhale. And then moving your hand or hands under your back somewhere. And you can just put your fingertips even, the back of your hand, somewhere where it's comfortable. And then on your next inhale, see if you can focus your breath to filling up that spot where your hand is and really press your air into the lower back or upper back, wherever you have your hand. And go ahead and do one more breath with your hand in that same spot, focusing again on trying to bring your breath right to that spot, filling up that spot in your back. And once you've exhaled on that one, moving your hands to your mid belly, so bottom of rib cage, mid belly, belly button area. And same thing again, nice deep breath, and bring your awareness to this spot in your belly, in the bottom of your rib cage, and fill it with air. And just notice and pay attention how much movement is happening in your abdominals, how much movement is happening in your rib cage as you take that breath.
And then move your hands from your mid belly to your sides. So they'll be like between your hips and your armpits. And same thing, take another breath. And this time trying to fill up into the sides of your rib cage. And exhale. And again, paying attention to the movement that's happening in your rib cage and the movement that's happening in your muscles and your obliques and your belly as you do this breath. And then moving your hands to your low belly. And one more time, nice deep breath, filling up your low belly, noticing the movement that's happening in your body as you take this breath. And exhale. Good, and when you finish that breath, we're gonna bend our knees. And we're gonna start with some flattens and tilts, and we'll do them nice and fluidly. So starting with our flatten, you can put your arms, you can actually leave them on your belly if you want, or you can lay them beside you. Sometimes I'll bring my hands up to my belly just because I do want to have a little more focus on that slow release. And sometimes when you've got a bit of pressure there, it makes it a little bit easier to focus. So if you want to try that, you sure can. So starting first, relaxed with an inhale. And as you exhale, flattening your back to the floor as you bring your ribs down and your pubic bone towards your ribs, tightening in your belly muscles. And hold for just a moment. And exhale, slowly releasing, slowly with control, releasing the contraction in your belly, as slow and smooth as you can. And at the end of that release, you're going to go right into the tilt. Remember to keep it small as we warm up our body. So tilting, rolling your tailbone forward and down to the floor in a little small gentle tilt. Hold for a moment and super slowly now begin to release the tilt. Slowly letting your pelvis come back down to the floor. And at the end of that release, going right into flatten again, bringing your pubic bone towards your ribs to your pubic bone as you flatten your back to the floor, tightening your abdominal muscles. Hold for a moment and slowly begin to exhale and release. Slow and smooth. Really working for the smooth release in this movement. And at the end of that release, going right into tilt again, inhale, rolling your tailbone forward and down into the floor, gently lifting your low back. Hold for just a moment. Exhale as you slowly release the contraction in your back and your pelvis slowly comes back down towards the floor. And at the very end of that release, going into flatten again, bringing your pubic bone towards your ribs and your ribs to your pubic bone, tightening in your abdominals as you flatten your back to the floor. Hold for just a moment and super slowly begin to release in your belly. Slow and smooth as you can. And at the end of that release, just take a moment to rest. Good, and when you've finished that one and you've had a moment to rest, we're gonna go into that letter X position. So your legs are gonna lengthen and go flat on the floor and they're gonna move apart about shoulder width. And your arms are gonna lengthen above your head and along the floor. So your arms will still be on the floor, but they'll be above your head. So if I looked at you from up in the sky, you would look like the letter X. So we're gonna start with lengthening the right arm and the left leg at the same time. So I want you to kind of wiggle your, sorry, did I say, I said right arm, left leg, right? Right arm. So wiggle your right hand a little bit and lengthen that arm. Don't stretch it, but think of lengthening it up along the floor. At the same time, point your left toe and think of lengthening the left leg. As you do that, you should notice that your right side shortens. So your right foot is probably flexing, bringing your toes closer to your face, and your right hip is now coming up towards that right arm. Super slowly now begin to release the length in the right arm and slowly switching sides. So what's going to be happening with your legs now is your right toe will slowly begin now to point as your left toe begins to flex. And at the same time, lengthening now the left arm. Lengthening the left arm and the right leg. Holding for just a moment. And then super slowly, we're going to switch that again. So slowly begin to now point the left toe down. Right toe's coming towards your face. And you're lengthening the right arm. And super slowly, we switch and reverse that one more time. Slowly now lengthening the right leg as you shorten on the left. Lengthening the left arm. And then slowly releasing out of that and coming back to neutral in the letter X still, but in a neutral rested position. And now we're going to just do each limb on their own. So just starting with the right arm now, I want you to think of lengthening the right arm. Wiggle those fingers, lengthening the right arm. And now slowly release that lengthen. So slowly letting your shoulder come back to neutral. Now I want you to think of lengthening the right leg. So pointing the right toe, lengthening the left leg, which will automatically shorten you on your left side. Hold for a moment and now super slowly releasing. Remember, as you're releasing, you're focusing on the side that was contracted. So it's that left shortened side that you need to control as you slowly release that lengthen on the right. Now you're going to lengthen the left leg. So pointing the left toe now, lengthening your left side, which will shorten you on your right side. Hold for just a moment. And super slowly begin to release that lengthen, releasing the short side slowly with control. And now you're going to think of lengthening your left arm. So wiggle those left fingers a little bit and think of lengthening that left arm up above your head along the floor. And slowly release. And when you've finished that one, you're going to bring your knees back up to bent position, feet standing on the floor, and now slide your arms down from above your head to beside you as we are going to go into our wash rag next. So your arms are going to be straight out from your shoulders and on the floor. We're going to start by lowering our knees to the left and rolling our face to the right. So all together, we're going to inhale and slowly begin to lower your knees down to the left as your right palm rolls up to the ceiling and your head turns to the right. You're going to notice that your right hip lifts off the floor. Your feet will be turning off of the floor as you gently, with control, lower those knees. And remember to stay in your comfort zone and only go as far as you can comfortably. When you've gone as far as you can go comfortably, we're going to switch the movement now. So you'll slowly begin to bring your knees up, lowering them to the right as you slowly turn your arms over. So your right arm will now be rolling palm down as your left palm rolls up to the ceiling and your head begins to turn to the left. Remember to stay in your comfort zone. And when you've gone as far as you can, slowly begin to reverse the movement again. Slowly bringing your knees up through center as your arms slowly roll, left palm rolling down, right palm rolling up, head begins to turn to the right, knees are drifting with control to the left. When you've gone as far as you can go, slowly begin to switch to the other side. Slowly bringing those knees up and over, slowly rolling your right palm down as the left arm rolls to palm up. Head turns to the left, knees drifting to the right. When you've gone as far as you can go comfortably, reversing it one more time. As you're slowly doing this, in case you didn't know, I am a dance teacher, and when I say one more time, it's probably a lie. Knees drifting slowly to the left, head is looking to the right. When you've gone as far as you can go comfortably, slowly switch one more time. And then slowly you're going to bring yourself back up to center. So knees slowly coming up to center. Arms are slowly going to go back to a neutral position. And then we're going to roll over onto our bellies. So nice and slow, rolling onto your belly. Your hands are going to be on the floor in front of you, and your forehead will be resting on the back of your hands. And we're going to start with an inhale, and your head and your hands are going to stay on the floor, and you're going to be lifting your elbows off of the floor. And as you lift your elbows, you're going to notice that a contraction will be happening in your shoulder blades as they come closer together. So inhale and lift your elbows. Remember, they don't need to lift high. Hold for just a moment, and now super slowly lower the elbows, slowly with control, paying attention to the release that's happening between your shoulder blades as you slowly lower your elbows back down to the floor. And once your elbows are back down to the floor, take a moment to rest. And we're going to repeat that one again. Inhale and lifting just the elbows as your shoulder blades gently squeeze together. Hold for a moment and super slowly now lower the elbows. Nice and slow. With control, taking them back down to the floor. On this next movement, your elbows are going to stay down on the floor now, and your hands will stay on the floor. We're going to be lifting your head into that peekaboo position. So inhale, lifting just your head and chest now, off of your hands and off of the floor, holding for just a moment, and slowly lowering your head back down, slowly with control, until your head is resting back on the back of your hands. And then take just a moment to rest. On this next movement, as you lift your head, you're also going to think of lengthening and lifting your right leg. So we're going to inhale again, lifting head and chest, and at the same time now lengthening and lifting the right leg. Remember, you don't need to lift it high. Hold for just a moment, and now super slowly lowering your head and chest and your leg at the same time. Lowering them back down to the floor. Nice and smooth. Take a moment to rest, and we'll repeat that now with the left leg. So inhale and lift head and chest, and think of lengthening and lifting your left leg at the same time. Hold for a moment. Super slowly begin to lower your head, your chest, and your leg, all together nice and smooth. Take another moment to rest, and now you're going to bring your left arm down beside your body. Your right arm will stay up at your face, and you're going to turn your head now so that you're looking towards the right elbow. This one is our look over the shoulder. So we'll be lifting our head, chest, right elbow, and lengthening and lifting the left leg at the same time. And for me, I usually like to try this one on an exhale. So let's do that. So we're going to inhale first as you're relaxed. And exhale, lifting head, chest, and elbow, lengthening and lifting the left leg, and just gently looking over your shoulder. Then slowly with control, lowering everything back down to the floor, as slow and smooth as you can. Remembering to rest when you've finished. And we'll do one more of those. Inhale first in your relaxed position. And exhale as you lift your head, chest, and elbow, lengthening and lifting the left leg, gently looking over your shoulder. And then slowly with control, inhale now as you slowly lower everything back down to the floor. And remembering to take a moment to rest. And now on this last one, let's try this one with an inhale so that you guys can compare it. So when you're ready, we're going to inhale now, lifting head, chest, and elbow, lengthening and lifting that left leg, holding for just a moment. And super slowly now exhale as you slowly lower head, chest, elbow, and leg. And slowly with control. And making sure to rest when you finish that one. And then you're going to slowly switch to the other side. So bringing your right arm now beside your body and your left arm up to your head, turning your head to look at the left elbow. So we'll do this the same way as the other side. So we'll stay relaxed and start with our inhale first. Exhale as you lift your head, chest, and elbow, lengthening and lifting the right leg now, gently looking over the left shoulder. Slowly with control, begin to release. Slowly lowering your head, slowly lowering your leg. When everything is back to the floor, taking a moment to rest. And repeating that one again in relaxed position. Inhale first. And exhale as you lift head, chest, and elbow, lengthening and lifting the right leg. Gently looking over the left shoulder. Slowly now releasing as you inhale. Slowly with control. Lowering everything back to the floor. And rest. And for the last one on this side, we'll try with an inhale. So when you're all ready, inhale and lift now. Head, chest, and elbow, lengthening and lifting the right leg, looking gently over your shoulder. And slowly exhale as you slowly lower everything back down to the floor. And making sure to take a moment to rest when you've finished. And then you're nice and slowly, you're going to roll over back onto your back with your knees bent. And we're going to bring our hands behind our head or fingertips behind your ears. As we go into our arch and curl. So we're going to start with our inhale and arch. Gently rolling your tailbone forward to the floor, pressing your shoulder blades down, drawing them towards your tailbone, tilting your head back. Slowly now with control, exhale. Slowly. And at the very end of that release, going right into flatten, bringing your pubic bone and ribs towards each other, bring your elbows together, and gently lift your head and chest into that soft curled position. Hold for a moment, and then slowly with control, now lowering your head, really paying attention to the release in your abdominals as you lower your head. And then slowly with control, lowering your elbows last. And then we'll repeat that one again. When you've rested and you're ready, inhale and arch, gently rolling your tailbone forward and down. Press your shoulder blades down. Think of drawing them towards your tailbone, tilting your head back. Let your jaw open softly with this one. And now exhale as you slowly release the contraction in your neck, slowly releasing in your shoulders, in your back, slowly letting your pelvis come back down to neutral. So slow and controlled. And at the very end of that release, going right into your flatten, bringing your pubic bone and ribs towards each other, pressing your low back to the floor, bring your elbows together, and gently lift your head and chest into that soft curled position. Hold for just a moment. Slowly begin to lower. Super slow. Slow and smooth. Releasing in your abdominals. Once your head is resting on the floor, then slowly with control, opening the elbows. Making sure to take a moment to rest when you finish that one. And we'll do one more. Inhale and tilt, rolling your tailbone forward and down. Press your shoulder blades down and think of drawing them towards your tailbone, tilting your head back, letting your jaw open softly. And now exhale super slowly, releasing the contraction in your back. Slow, slow and smooth. At the very end of that release, going right into flatten, flattening your back to the floor, bringing pubic bone and ribs towards each other. Bring your elbows together. And remember that the more you bring your elbows together, the more release you might get in your chest. Stay in your comfort zone, but if you can bring them a little closer, you may notice a bit more release. Hold for a moment. Super slowly now, lowering your head back down to the floor, as slow and smooth as you can. And once your head is resting on the floor, then slowly with control, lowering your elbows. And when you've finished that one, take just a moment to rest and then lengthen your your left arm down beside your body. We're going to do a couple elbow to opposite knees now. So we're going to do our inhale and arch again. So inhale, rolling your tailbone forward and down, pressing that shoulder blade. And this time I want you to turn your head a little bit to the right. And now exhale, super slowly, releasing the contraction in your back. Slow and smooth. Then going right into flatten, flattening your back to the floor. And now bring your left knee and right elbow towards each other as you lift and turn your head, chest, and elbow, bringing that right elbow, left knee towards each other. Hold for a moment and then super slowly lowering your head and your foot, nice and slow and smooth, back down to the floor. And rest. And we're going to do one more of those. Inhale and arch, rolling your tailbone forward and down, drawing the shoulder blades towards your tailbone, turning your head to the right. Exhale, slowly releasing. Then going right into flatten, flattening your back to the floor, lifting your head and your chest, and bring your right elbow and left knee towards each other. Hold for a moment, slowly begin to lower. Slowly lowering your foot, slowly lowering your head. Once your foot, your head, and your elbow are on the floor, take a moment to rest. And then slowly you're going to switch to the other side. So you'll be bringing now your left arm up behind your hand, behind your head. Right arm will be lengthened beside your body. And we'll start with our inhale and arch again. So inhale and arch, rolling your tailbone forward and down to the floor. Hold for a moment. Exhale. Turn your head to the left as well. Exhale now, slowly releasing the tilt in your hips, slowly releasing in your back. At the end of the release, going right into flatten, bringing pubic bone and ribs towards each other, and then lift your head and chest, and bring your left elbow and right knee towards each other. Hold for a moment, super slowly lowering. Slowly, with control, lowering your head, your foot, your head and your chest, and lowering your elbow last. Nice and slow. Make sure to take a moment to rest. And then we'll do one more of those. Inhale and arch, rolling your tailbone forward and down to the floor, drawing your shoulder blades down towards your tailbone, turning your head to the left. Exhale now, super slowly releasing the contraction in your back. Slow and smooth. And at the very end of that release, going right into flatten, bringing your pubic bone and ribs towards each other, flattening your back to the floor, and then lifting your head and your chest, bringing your left elbow and your right knee towards each other. Hold for a moment, super slowly, lowering them both back down to the floor, really working for a smooth movement as you lower slowly back down to the floor. When everything is back down to the floor, take a moment to rest, and then you're going to lengthen your legs and go back into our beginning scan position. And just take a moment to feel how you feel, taking a couple of breaths. And then bringing one or both of your hands up to the bottom of your neck, right at the top of your collarbone. And on your next breath, bringing your awareness to this spot and see if you can fill your upper chest with air as you inhale. And exhale, super slow, nice exhale. And then moving your hand about an inch lower, right up, taking this next breath, filling up your upper chest again. And exhale. And really paying attention to the movement that's happening in your body as you're taking these breaths. And now moving your hands under your back somewhere, wherever you had them at the beginning of class. It might just be your fingertips under your low back or your mid back. And with this next breath, think of pressing that back into your hands and filling up the back of your torso with this next breath. And exhale. And one more time with our hands still there. Inhale. And exhale. Now bringing your hands to your sides, to the side of your rib cage, somewhere between your hip and your armpits. I usually put the back of my hand for this one. I don't know why, but you can use the back of your hand or the front of your hand. And again, inhale now as you try to fill up into the sides of your torso. Expanding out to your sides with that breath. And exhale. And now bringing your hands to your low rib cage and belly button. And with your next breath, filling up your mid belly now. And again, paying attention to the movement that's happening in your rib cage and in your abdominals as you take this breath and as you exhale. And now moving your hands to your low belly, fingertips right above your pubic bone. And now filling up your low belly with this next breath. And exhale. When you finish that one, just laying your hands beside you now, take just a moment to notice how you're feeling and how relaxed your body feels right now. And then slowly, when you're ready, you're going to roll to your side and come up to a sitting position. We have a few minutes still for some questions or feedback.